Hello friends, my name is RagePanda1 and today we're going to go through an update on my account and see where in the heck I have gotten with all of the stuff and things that I have done. First thing I want to talk about is my main team. Now I do have enough Ascension materials for my Female Daevala to get her one more star level and then it's over. That is done. It is through. However, when it comes to Mr. White Eyes, he'll be coming out of his cage, he'll be doing just fine, because I have the companion, so I'll be able to ascend him forevermore. For now, this is about as far as we could take it. I have also taken many of my Fulgur champions and gotten noble or confident on them. None of them are perfect. None of them have a perfect combination of stats, but it's something we're working on over time. So my trade districts are doing all right. If we look at my production districts, though, we have not really anything perfect here. We don't have mythics, except for our one mythic male Doombringer. And he is best in slot here. However, we want to fill the rest of these up with that. And since I have recently finished getting my Yevnayan clan up to Mythic, that's going to give us a chance to move on to the next thing. And I think I'm going to make that my Doombringers, which is the only companion from the base game that I don't have. But that's fine, because we're real close and we have some free stuff to do. So we can just come in here and grab our lady. If only it were that easy to pick up chicks in the real world. And just like that, we've met a nice hot broad. And as I've said before, the first thing that you must do when you meet your next wife is you gotta consummate that relationship, because otherwise God isn't gonna believe that you mean it. And the reason that I've chosen to beef this person up in general is, number one, because of the impact it'll have on my districts, which I really need to get in order, because I don't have enough gold at all to do anything I want to do. Aside from that, it also is going to give me access to a good trait that I may want to put on some of my characters. Would I rather have aggressive in most of those situations? I think I would. I think aggressive is better because since you're scaling off of strength instead of total damage, it's more versatile. You can increase shielding and healing and things like that instead of just increasing a final damage number, although who knows, maybe it would have worked either way and the wording is just silly on those. We can never tell. And then of course when we get our new companion, we always like to do a whole lot of carousing. Alright, that was a huge ordeal because you have to click that 4 times every time you want to add one, and I had to do over 30, but we're gonna pump it up. And then with our Guardian Stone, we have level 10 out of 10 for our mage damage, which is pretty huge. We've got 6 of 10 for our constitution for mages and tanks. And then we're working on getting our damage for assassins. When I have the materials, I want to use them to level up this male Yevnayan. The reason is because my Female Daevala is at the end of her rope. And so when she's no longer useful, I'm going to start using this guy to try to counter Female Daevala. And then I have a plan that surrounds that a little bit, which maybe I should make a whole video. But essentially it comes down to using various forms of crowd control to keep the Female Daevala from ulting, keeping her from having her passive activate because she's either stunned or silenced, and killing her before she gets to do all of her stuff. So I think the male Yiv can help with that a lot because the Female Daevala is usually ulting first on the enemy team, so if you get him ulting pretty fast, then you should be canceling her energy bar out, and if you do that, you could get, say, a female Lux to crowd control her if you're lucky, although that's hard to aim. When I did my leveling of my male Fulgurs, there was a might challenge going on, which is still going on. I'm a little higher now, but I thought it was worth noting in case you didn't know. I did know when I started this, I just didn't care because I couldn't really compete in the Might Challenge since my resources were so low. When you're marrying things off, you are essentially losing a ton of might. I only ended up losing a few million, and I went down 30 ranks in the Might Challenge based on that alone. So if you're trying to win a Might Challenge, it may not be the best time to be going through and doing all the marriages that you want to do. And especially certain ascensions can be extremely expensive on your resources. I'm not sure if they balance out, but I would guess if I take 3 1-star mythics and turn them into a 2-star mythic, I'm probably losing might on that. but don't quote me on it. I could be wrong. I haven't actually done the testing there. So with our leaderboards, I'm actually trying to slow down a little bit. And the reason I'm trying to slow down is because, man, the scaling is weird in this game, and I'm not sure if it's based on total might or if it's based on campaign progress. But I can tell you this, when I did a ton of summoning for the White Eyes event, and then I realized, well, I haven't really progressed in the campaign for a while, so I should go do that. I went through, I don't know, 4 or 5 entire chapters of the campaign, and then I also gained a ton of might through doing all of those summons and just spending resources getting things leveled up. My account feels much harder to play now. Much harder to play in every aspect. In Valley of Conquerors, in Dungeon Descent. I used to just fly through Dungeon Descent and not even read what I was picking up, and I was just crushing it. And now I can play as hard and as intently as I want, and it's very difficult to progress. Before I ascended my characters to 11 star, I literally could not win. It was not possible to win no matter what I did. So I don't know how their scaling works, but it's bad. It's not good. And as far as I can tell, it's kind of indicating to me that I want to reduce my progress to doing the types of progress that I actually want. Like, I actually want to ascend my characters. That's the first thing. Basically, at this point, I'm not sure I would recommend even doing campaign after you've unlocked everything. After you're like chapter 18, I'm not even sure it's a good idea to keep going in campaign. I don't know for sure that that's the case. That's just the impression that I'm getting from the scaling and the little tidbits of information that are floating around here and there. It's not super clear. So for now, we're saving stones. We got 97 of them ready for next week's Minotaur event, which I'm hoping they'll actually be quite good. And we're focusing on getting intimacy. And unfortunately, we gotta hope that Dungeon Descent just gets a little easier for us. I'm tempted, because I don't know exactly how the scaling works, I'm tempted to take all of these marksman characters that I have that are just sitting here to be a source of traits for me. I'm thinking about chucking them in the incinerator and just leveling a few of them up to be 3-star, and eventually I can make them 4-star and turn them into upgrade materials for a female Travaine, which I actually want to be higher level. If I did that, I would be considerably reducing the amount of might that is on my account. And if that scaling has to do with the might, then that's maybe one way that I could mitigate the troubles I'm having in Dungeon Descent, but I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if it's based on the campaign only, might only, a combination of the two, but I'll tell you what it should be based on, and this is pretty obvious if you ask me. It should be based on the level of the characters you take into the frickin' Dungeon Descent. Like, for real. Just look at my team, look at the might that exists on my team that I selected and can't change, and base the scaling off of that for the love of whoever you love. I don't know. I don't know who you would. So that's where we're at. We're stopping progress. I'm going to be focusing on Valley of Conquerors and doing these sorts of events. I wanted to summon some more on this and just try it out. Just rock a 10 popper on there to see what we get. But honestly, I'm not anywhere near the companions, so that's not going to happen. The only good thing that could come of it is if I get the mythic one, and the chance is so low that it's not really even worth doing. So I'm gonna reluctantly be smart about not doing that, even though I really just want to gamble on it, and I could just go talk to a couple prisoners and have enough to do it. It ain't gonna happen today. It's not worth it. So my big tip here in this video, aside from it just being an update, is that I think that you should stop grinding your campaign if you're on chapter 18. And I especially would not grind campaign in a way that I have been doing it, which is that I go into campaign when I want to play campaign, and I try to get as far and as deep as I possibly can using as strong of strategy and countering the enemy that I can use. And because of that, I think that the game thinks that I'm a lot stronger than I am just because I countered a couple of hard teams. And then that makes it, I go into Valley and there's people 2 million score higher than me. And I literally, and I'm talking almost everybody in the Valley, and I just can't do anything. Like, everybody is 7 or almost 8 million and I'm sitting here at 5.5 and I'm just screwed. Well, luckily I'm up to about 7 million now, but I did all that all that ascending, and I didn't even match the people that I was playing against in Valley of Conquerors. So who knows? There's a lot to figure out there, and hopefully we'll all figure it out eventually. The good news is we now have all of the companions that we can possibly get in this fashion, plus the bonus one of the white eyes. So our ascension materials that we're going to be cranking out is going to be awesome, and I cannot wait until I can get all the rest of these companions, and then we can really start trucking along. I really wish they would just make it rain intimacy on me so I could just in 1 week get like 3 mythic companions. But I suppose that's what we're supposed to work for. I want to thank you for watching this video. I have been RagePanda1, and I will see you in the next one.